I know it's backwards. Don't get at me. Taqueria Style Sauce Reviews, episode 22. That's what we have here. So that was a little bit of a little series or something I was having fun with maybe 3 or 4 years ago on this channel. Because taquerias have a special place in my heart. Mexican food, Salvadorian food, mainly Mexican. Salvadorian's grown quite a bit on me. Peruvian food's grown on me quite a bit. Colombian food, but and others, right? But in that wheelhouse of what I just kind of lump everything together in Hispanic food. Mexican food's always been there, right? Growing up, and that was a fun weekend out with the parents. My parents loved Mexican food. My mom made some great enchiladas, right? But outside of my dad and my grandfather, who always had their Tabasco on the breakfast table, and then later on, my dad always had his Cholula and Tapatio, which Tapatio is still one of my favorite sauces, hands down. Just, I can drink the shit, right? I love it. So outside of that family connection with my dad and my grandfather on those sauces, the next closest connection I have to being a hot sauce enthusiast and somebody that just really loves hot sauce, which I do, that all originated from Mexican food, Hispanic restaurants, taquerias, carnicerias, and all of that. Now, as I've gotten older, it's just become even more. So I started this little series because you can't go wrong with a little homemade salsa at some of these local taquerias that we all have around our towns, our cities, our states, whatever. And so this comes from Mexico. I know it's backwards again. Don't come at me. I just, it is what it is. I love you guys. But there it is, And after I got out of the hospital a few weeks ago, I was like, I just don't feel like cooking. I was looking around. The price of, this is going to be a long review. Bear with me, guys. I love you. You love it. It is what it is. I can only do what I can do. There's always a backstory. There's always a backstory to things. And for me personally, I think it makes the review that much better, right? But, so I was looking, get some food. And the price of a street taco at your local taqueria, at least where I'm at in northern Nevada, it's astronomical. And again, it is what it is. But you're talking something that on a Taco Tuesday back in the day, I could get a street taco, asada, linguiça, chorizo, all of it, right? For 99 cents a taco, and then on a regular day it's $1.25, and now places are charging $3.50, $4 at some fucking places for a street taco, and they're divine. So people are paying it, and in today's economy. So anyway, I found this place, $2.50. I said, shit, that's the cheapest around me. And I've been drinking a couple beers, nothing crazy. I thought, really close to the house, let's go down there. And I show up, and the food's pretty good. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but for their prices and where they're valued, I think it's exceptional, right? They're not overpricing their food. Like I just said, it's not the best Mexican food I've ever had, but it ain't the worst. They only have 2 sauces, the Verde and the Rojo. Okay, and neither one of them are that hot, so it's unfortunate. But I went there, ordered my food, got it, and there was a little bit of a language barrier, and I'm asking the amigo, I said, hey, I want the hottest Rojo, the hottest sauce you have. He said, this is it. I went back just yesterday, actually. Today is Monday, and I just went back yesterday. And there was maybe a cousin, a daughter, somebody in there. Maybe they're not even family, and I'm just fucking jumping way out of my my wheelhouse here. But a younger girl there spoke good English, and I didn't have to use my terrible Spanish. And I said, is this all you have? Is this the hottest? She said, yeah. So some places you go, they have a few different selections, right? This place only two, but still pretty good. And where this place is at, and I never went there because it used to be a different Hispanic taqueria. And in fact, since I can recall, the place has always kind of been a Mexican-owned, Mexican-rented, Mexican, Hispanic type restaurant. And so it's different. I think it used to be called Candeleras, something like that. So here's the sauce. Again, it has a phenomenal smell to it. Taqueria style sauces, they just have this. I feel like I'm in the restaurant right now smelling that. Does that make sense to you guys? I think it should. I think you'll understand that. It just smells like a taqueria. There's a little freshness there, maybe a little garlic. And again, I've tried this before because I had it on my food the first time I went there recently and then yesterday. But it's a good little sauce. I'm doing this one first because out of the two, the Verde is actually the hotter one. And you'll find that from time to time. Most of my experiences, the Rojos are usually the hottest. But it's really thin. Let's give this a shot. Cheers, my friends. The thing about this sauce is it's almost, to me, it tastes like they got dried chili in there. So in my experience, that tapers down the overall heat of the sauce. But now that I'm trying this sauce actually just by the spoonful, it has a little bite to it. It has a little bit of just a little bit of a grab there. And I didn't experience that with the food. And that's common. Sometimes with the food, you're not going to always get the true essence of the sauce or the pepper or whatever. When you're mixing ingredients and mixing things, you don't get the full everything, but hopefully everything you've mixed there together complements one, right? But this has got a little bit more of a sting to it than I remember. And that was just yesterday. I tried this on some tacos. But what I was going to say earlier is it almost has a, and it does on the very back end. There's just a little bit of it grabs you just a little bit, but then it lets go. But it can almost grab you sooner if they didn't water it down so much. I think they're watering this down. And I'm not tasting vinegar. I'm thinking it's just straight water. I have another sauce in here that I picked up, and we're going to do another taqueria style sauce review whenever I decide to do it. But yeah, the sauce separates quite a bit. This is not bad. It's actually better than I thought it was. And again, it just has those underlying Hispanic notes. I mean, I almost can't even give you everything that's in there. It's one of those sauces that just feels like you're eating a fucking taco. Like it's unique in its own way, but it's also complex in its own way. The flavor isn't anything super crazy. It's almost just dried chili and water. But for whatever reason, it works. They're Verde. And again, if I haven't mentioned, I think I did. The food there is pretty good. It's worth trying. It's worth going. So again, it's a little bit thicker, but it's still pretty watery. I put this on tacos and enchiladas. That's all I've had from the place. On a burrito or something handheld more so than a taco, because a taco has two ends this way and you're eating it this way, as opposed to a burrito that's this way and shit can run this way, right? Or this way. It can flop a little bit, but both of them held together really good in a taco. This has an oakiness to it. And I just thought of that description right now, but I remember trying this on the enchiladas last night, and it actually complemented cheese enchiladas better than it did chorizo tacos. And I think it's because of that nuttiness. There's like a nuttiness to this, which is pretty unique. There is some bits and pieces in there. The texture on this, though, even though you can see little granules and you can see little things, floating in it, you don't pick that up on the palate. So the texture, both of them pretty watery. Even though you can see specks and stuff in there, they're not cut or big enough for you to actually pick it up on the palate. Yeah, this is something, I don't know what I'm picking up in this. This is interesting. It's even more so off the spoon. But it complemented those enchiladas really well, but it didn't work as well, in my opinion, with the, meat tacos. And I think it's because that nuttiness was clashing with the spice of the chorizo and that. But with just cheese enchiladas, it worked really well. I'd be careful. I think they may have made this with some kind of nuts, which I know sounds weird, but I'm picking that up strong here. I made a sauce for some food, and I don't even remember now what it was. But for shits and giggles, I decided to throw some spicy peanuts in there. And it didn't work that well for me. This works really well, but maybe they don't in there, but I'm picking that up. I don't know, it's weird. But it is slightly hotter than the Rojo. The difference is it has and it's fresher. It's a verde. So if you like the freshness of your salsas at taquerias and stuff, I don't need to tell you this, you're probably going to gravitate towards the verdes as opposed to the rojos. And this has that. It does have a little bit of a fresher vibe. I still like the red one better, even though it's not as hot as the green, just because I like that flavor to it. And again, it's hard to describe, but it's like all rojos. They're not as fresh as the verdes, and sometimes they come across tomatoey, although this doesn't, but I'm just speaking in generality. Sometimes they come across as tomatoey and rustic, and I like that better. Yeah, it's just a better sauce for me. But they're both surprisingly hotter than what I remember and what I thought I was going to review sitting down here. So they do have a good little heat to them. But for me, when they're mixed with food, which is the only way I've tried them prior to just now, the heat dissipates drastically, quite a bit. It doesn't hold that heat quite as much as it does by just drinking it, right? So, long-winded review, but I was excited to maybe start this series again. I've got another one that I'm gonna do, and there's some reasons behind that one, and we'll get into it, both positive and some super negative, which I don't like being super negative, but they're probably just lucky I didn't, ever post, nor do I have it anymore. I deleted the video, but I don't want to get into it. I love you guys. Thanks for burning with me. Oh, Mexico. I know it's very hard to see. It is what it is. Oh, Mexico in Sparks, Nevada on McCarran and Prater. Check them out. Again, not the best Mexican food I've ever had, but better than what most people make at home. And beautiful, nice people in there. The first time I went was an older lady and man, probably maybe husband, wife, owner, I don't know. One working the counter, one working the back. Just boom, boom, boom. The next time I went in there, there was a younger guy and a younger woman. Could have been brother, sister, maybe not. But, you know, they were on it pretty good as well. So really good. The food's good, priced really well. Again, like I explained with the tacos, you know, out here in northern Nevada, I mean, you know, places are getting damn near $4 for a chorizo taco or street tacos. This place is charging you $2.50, and they have maybe 6 different meats to choose from. I think linguiça, chorizo, asada, pollo, you know, carnitas, well, you know, all the normal staples. So anyways, I'm gonna keep talking because I'm having fun. This is a good sauce, both of them, you know. Again, they could be a little hotter, but for what it is, I like them. We'll see ya.